ignore that. And we're going to go with your JV and affiliate partner strategy. I knew there was something wrong with that other one. Okay, so very good. Excited that you're here. So JVs and affiliates can be one of the most important and profitable elements of your business strategy if you do it right. And here's the thing about them. They bring new people into your world. Whether those people that come into your world from your affiliates become customers or not, they're new people into your world and give you a chance to eventually get a buyer out of them. The beautiful thing about an affiliate promotion is that depending on your impact on the world, the quality of your affiliate partner, whether you've sent your affiliate partner a bunch of your traffic in the past or not, but on average, I find that somewhere between 30 and 90% of all the leads that come from a JV partner are new to me. And so that's really powerful to bring in. Let's say you do something with the JV, they send you, let's use a good number, 1,000 new leads. You're going to have between 300 and 900 of those are brand new to you. And that's really cool. Next, they give you credibility in the marketplace because as they recommend you, they are loaning you some of their credibility with their audience and saying, hey, I really like this person's work. You should pay attention to it too. So you are able to borrow their credibility and ride on that for a short period of time. Obviously, the things you do in your launch then either confirms or denies that credibility that you're given. But I know you guys, especially the three of you who are on the call right now, you three are definitely going to build that creativity as soon as you open your mouth and start talking. Next, they increase social proof, absolutely, but they also increase urgency. And some people may say, how does that work? Well, social proof is saying, okay, look at all these people who also support Michelle. But then in addition to that, the urgency gets added on to that because there's always a perception that things are going to sell out and things won't be available because you only have a certain number of people that you can serve. And so by bringing in a larger audience, it actually increases the urgency part of the equation. Next, the beautiful, and my favorite thing is that really, unless you're running affiliate contests and things like that, the only cost to you if their recommendation turns into cash in your pocket. So if they are sending someone to your launch, you only pay them a commission, not on the number of people they sent you, but you pay it on the sales that actually happen. And so you only have to pay out an affiliate commission if you get cash into your pocket. Now, there is a piece on top of all that, which is if you decide to do an affiliate contest as part of a launch, that's a piece of cost that happens regardless of whether you earn money or not. But in most cases, well, the bulk of your expense will only happen if you actually gain sales as a result. So the question I find that everyone always has at this point is, okay, Don, I'm sold on this affiliate stuff. How do I find them, right? Okay, so let's talk about this. The single most important thing to do in finding them is to ask the question, who has the audience that I want to attract into my business? So you're looking for the group of people, for the people who have that audience that you want to attract into your business. So that audience may be on their email list. That audience may be followers of their Facebook page or group. That audience may be buyers of theirs. That audience may be people who are on their Instagram following. That audience may be people who attend their live events. Whatever that audience is and however it is that they connect with that audience, the key question when you want to find good affiliates is to ask yourself the question, who already has my audience? That's the first question, because it really doesn't matter. So most people say there's two questions. Number one, who has my audience? And number two, who'd be willing to do a deal with me? But you know what? If you find somebody who's willing to do a deal with you who does not have your audience, that deal's worth almost nothing to you. So sometimes they can have a huge audience that is not your audience. So D, I'll use you as an example here for a moment. So thanks for your pretty smiling face. I love that nice smile. Is if someone has an audience of people who are interested in health products, but that audience is universally against MLM products, it doesn't matter how big that audience is, they're not your audience. Okay? So they've got to have your audience in order to be a good affiliate partner with you. So I'd like to do a little workshop here for just a moment. What I'd like to do is I'd like to spend about 5 minutes and have you make a list of as many people as you can during that time who have your audience. Ideally, if you can come up with 10 people, that's great. If you can't come up with 10 people, then 20 will do. If you can't get to 10, well, then in a minute, I'll show you a couple of ways that we can use to try to find those 10 people. Okay, so my gut feeling is you already know off the top of your head several people who have your audience. So I'll be quiet and let you make a list. Gene, we're in the process of making a list of people who already have the audience that you want to attract into your business. Okay? Ideally 10 people in the next 4 minutes and 39 seconds.
Is anything happening?
Yeah, lots is happening. Hi, Curtis. We're
Hi,
doing an
Don.
exercise right now where people are making a list of 10 people who have their audience as part of their
Okay.
list or
Don,
Instagram
I'm
following or something
driving.
like that.
I'm driving, so I need to put back on mute and get going again. I just wanted to know if I actually arrived. Okay, I was at
Okay.
the other place.
Yes,
Okay,
you're here.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Keep pushing. Don't worry if the names that you're thinking about are too big. Put them on the list anyway. Okay? Got him. I've had a fruit fly in my office. He just died. Okay, there we go. So, time's up. By the way, is there another group that people are hanging out on, and have they been sent over to here?
Mhm.
So somebody who's just arrived.
Don, we were in at the other Zoom link and Ken came and got us. Cash put the link up so we could all join back onto this one.
Okay, so Ken sent everybody here?
Yeah, hopefully no new arrivals over there, but
Okay.
what can we do?
Yeah, there were a bunch of us who came over at once. There may be somebody left behind. We don't know.
Okay, there were 2 links in the email. Plus
Well,
a different link in the Facebook group. Okay, this is confusing.
Yeah.
But we're so glad that you're here. Thank you, Ken. You've done a great service today. Okay, good. So what we've just done, for those of you who just arrived, is that we just worked for about 5 minutes making a list of people who have the audience that you want to sell to. Okay, so we're going to continue on with this exercise for a moment. And as we talk about this, go ahead and keep writing because there's no reason why you should stop at 10, okay? Who had problems doing this exercise? Or who has questions about it? Marie Elizabeth, you want to just unmute yourself and tell us what your thoughts were, what your struggles were?
My struggles were someone who has my audience but doesn't do the same thing as me. So why would we?
Oh, you know what? That is the perfect affiliate.
No, but I mean, I kept thinking of people who do the same thing as me.
Oh, you're looking for people who don't do the same thing as you.
I was having trouble thinking of people who have my audience but do something else.
Okay. All right. So the perfect JV affiliate is a person who has your audience but does something else. Obviously, that one's easy because then they don't see you as a competitor. But one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit as we go along here is that a direct competitor is actually a really good affiliate. So let me tell you how I have this conversation with somebody who is a direct competitor of mine. Well, first off, I don't have direct competitors because I never do products that have direct competitors. But people who think that they're direct competitors, here's the conversation I have with them. I say, okay, the last time that you offered a product, what percentage of your list bought it? Okay, so does somebody want to be the other side of that conversation with me? Isabel, can you just turn on your sound and you role play that person? I actually asked the wrong person.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, do you want to talk with somebody else?
No, you're great. You're great.
Okay.
Okay, so Isabel, last time you did a promotion, what percentage of your list bought?
Oh, God, it was very small. It was small.
Okay, so let's just imagine it was 1%.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Okay.
we'll just assume a really small number, okay? What about the other 99%?
Well, a portion of that other 99% had bought from me in the past.
Okay.
That particular
So let's
product.
say, what about the other 97% or 95%? Okay. What about them? Would you like to earn some money from them?
Absolutely.
So let's just face the facts, Isabel. You've been doing this marketing for quite a while, and you've done a great job, yet 95% of the people on your list still have not bought from you. And my guess is that 10 years from now, you're going to build that list. But let's just take the list of people you have right now. My gut feeling is another 5% of them are going to buy from you in the next 10 years. That still leaves 90% of the people on your list who are never going to buy anything from you. Would you like to earn some money from them too?
Of course.
So let me tell you a story. Isabel, you've heard this story, but there are a few other people in this group who have not heard this story. So way back in 2002, and I may be wrong on the date because sometimes I'm not very good at I can't even remember what year I graduated from college, but I believe it was 2002. I wrote a book about how to advertise on Google. Google had just bought a company that enabled them to run ads. Well, I wrote that book. I got it printed up down at Kinko's. It was a 200-page book. I sold it for $97. $197. Nice markup on this book. It just happened to be that 50 miles south of me in Chicago, Perry Marshall wrote a very similar book about the same time. And ironically, he got it printed at Kinko's and sold it for $197. So both of us had a very similar product at the same time. Well, over those next 3 years, I sold $600,000 worth of copies of that book. Perry, my one and at the time only competitor in the world, was my #1 affiliate. He was a, quote, direct competitor. And after sending him about $200,000, I picked up the phone and called him one day and said, Perry, tell me how this works. You're my direct competitor and you're my #1 affiliate, and I've sent you $200,000. How do you do this? Here's what he said. Don, I have a series of emails that go out every day for 30 days that try to get them to buy my book. So when they opt in, they get 30 days worth of emails. On day 19, here's what the email says. You've read 19 days worth of emails from me about how to start running ads on Google. Clearly, in every one of them, I've offered you the opportunity to buy my book. Clearly, you haven't bought yet. And whereas I can't figure out any reason in the world why you would not want to buy from me, the only thing I can figure out is maybe you don't like me. Well, there's this guy named Don Crowther. He's done a very similar thing. If you don't like me, go buy from him instead. And that was literally the only mention of me he made anywhere, was that one.
Mm.
And earned him $200,000. And earned me $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So so I tell them that story, and then and you can use that story, just don't replace your name with my name. Just say, hey, I have this coach who told me this story. And what I say to them is, since 90% of everybody on your list is never going to buy from you, why don't you give them a chance to buy from someone else and make money off of that?
Hmm.
And some of them
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
And the beautiful thing is, they weren't going to buy from you anyway, but at least you get half of what Don's doing, what Don sells. Okay? So, just a thought.
Can I ask you a question on that line?
Yes.
So I have a Facebook ad that I've been running for over a year now. One thing you need to know before you buy another healing crystal. And that leads people into my whole philosophy of using the sphere form and my whole philosophy of wearing necklaces. But in any case, a percentage of those people are very into crystals because they opted in, but they have not bought my stuff. So I was thinking, well, maybe I should contact someone who I know is into crystals and offer me to be an affiliate for her, say, hey, I've got these 3,000 people on my list who are into crystals but not into me. Can we do something? Can we?
So you just jumped to like slide 16.
Oh, okay.
But it's a perfect question, which is, everything that we're doing here, is there any way why we couldn't just reverse the deck?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Isabel, we've talked about this before. You sell necklaces and pocket rocks and sprays, but there are other people, and frankly, the bulk of the industry is all about like a crystal
Mm-hmm.
that sits there on their desk or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
And there are people who just will never be interested in buying a necklace because
Mm-hmm.
they think that crystal is somehow more powerful. And you and I both know that you have great arguments against that and everything, but some people just aren't going to pay enough attention to you because they don't buy into your philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So why shouldn't you make money off those people and send them to some of these other people?
Mm-hmm.
And you may actually want to do it almost this way Perry did with me. It's like, perhaps you don't like me. Perhaps you don't buy into my concept. Well, if you really believe differently, maybe you want to go check out this person.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, here's something else I've discovered. And I know this sounds counterintuitive, but when I recommend good people to the people who are following me, it actually increases my credibility, and some of them come back and buy from me later on because I referred them to Marisa
Mm-hmm.
or John Doe or whoever.
Well,
right?
sure, that makes
They
sense
have a good
because you're
experience
building.
with them. Go ahead.
You're building a relationship. The whole point of your email list is to build a relationship with people, and over time, that relationship turns to trust.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very good. Okay. Good. Thank you, Isabel.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
your participation. Okay. Who else had a challenge in doing this? I noticed that Natalie said, all the names I'm thinking of are too big. Natalie, you want to unmute yourself and let's talk about this for a minute?
Sure.
Okay. So how do we handle people who are too big?
Go for it.
Actually, I recommend you don't.
Okay.
Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to show you several slides on how to create an affiliate relationship with someone who is an order of magnitude or two orders of magnitude above you. The thing I do not recommend you do is send them an email and say, wouldn't you like to become my affiliate, when they've never heard of you and don't know anything about you. Okay. So the other day, I was sitting with one of the biggest marketers in the industry, and we did a question and answer. We did a survey on Instagram, which said, hey, tomorrow we're going to do a live broadcast on Instagram, and we want to know what your questions are. And one of the questions that came in said, how can I get you to mail for me as an affiliate? From someone who neither one of us had ever heard of before. So this is someone that's so outside, because both this person and I know everybody who's major in this industry. And so this is somebody, I don't mean this negatively, a young upstart who's trying to get a hold in the industry. Okay, we don't know him at all. Well, the way to do that is not to go to the number one person in the industry and send them a note that says, how can I get you to affiliate for me? It's to do some other things, and that's what we're going to show you next. So, Natalie, I'm going to take your question. I'm going to push it back just a couple of slides. Is that okay? Okay. Pamela, you said you had a question.
It's related to Natalie's. I had some people that already are affiliates, and then there was the giants. There was nothing in between.
Okay. All right. Good. So what we need to do is we need to get some medium-sized fish between the minnows and the whales, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to show you a way to do that too. Okay. Michelle, are you raising your hand, or are you just like waving?
I had a question. I got a list of 25, but my question was not only who's too big, but who's too small.
So, is it ever possible to have somebody be too small?
Well, that's what I was feeling when I put them on the list, but I was wondering if I needed to put more dimensions on that decision.
Yeah. So here's the way I look at somebody who's too small. As long as they've got a way to participate without requiring a great deal of time and energy on your part, there's no disadvantage in having small people. So sometimes the big companies that affiliate carve out people on the bottom part of their list, the people who sign up for an affiliate account but have never actually sold anything. And the people who have never sold anything, you probably want to cut off, okay? But the people who only sell one or two, unless you are like picking up the phone and spending a lot of time training them and everything, it's hard to find somebody who's too small. Oh, there's one other thing. If you're doing webinars just for their audience, not a general webinar, then you don't want to do that with people who are too small. But if you do it, but it's tough to find somebody who's too small to support a launch, or maybe to support a public-oriented webinar. I've got no problem with that, having some small people on there. They may be only able to send 5 buyers in. Hey, I'll take 5 buyers. $2,000 product, that's $10,000. I paid them $1,000. I paid them $5,000. I'll take $5,000. I'm not greedy. Okay? That makes sense, Michelle?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Super sense.
Okay. Anybody else? Abby just said, I have had great luck with smaller affiliates. And in fact, oftentimes the smaller affiliates can do some amazing things for you when they really dig in their heels and really go all out to support you. And actually, that's part of the strategies I'm going to show you in a minute of a great way to get on the list of the big dogs. Okay? All right. Let me go on, and then we're going to loop back and continue the discussion. All right. So we've got a list. Now, here's my question for you. How, in a relationship-based business, do you create a relationship with them so that they will want to affiliate with you? Okay? So here's the thing that happens. The big dogs that you probably put on your list, my guess is that they get between 100 and 500 requests a year to promote somebody as an affiliate. they probably have between 5 and 15 spots a year that they can promote somebody in. So they've got to make a choice of who to not work with, okay? And I will tell you very bluntly, it ought to come down to who will make them the most money, but in most cases what it comes down to is these are the people who have a good relationship with me. And in many cases, it comes down to I need to promote this person so that they'll promote me the next time I do a launch. Okay? So the relationship is very much a scratching each other's back kind of relationship, and it's based on that. There's a tremendous amount of reciprocity that happens in the affiliate world where, very frankly, very bluntly, I promote John Doe so that John Doe will promote me later on in my launch. And so I send John Doe a $10,000 check so that 3 months from now he'll send me a $10,000 check. And we go back and forth doing some of that. But here's the thing, in many cases, it's not the $10,000 checks that make you the real money. It's the $1 million check that makes you money. But you can't get the $1 million check without having a bunch of $10,000 checks happening in that process. Or let's just cut another digit off. It's not the $10,000, it's the $100,000 checks that make the difference, okay? So the key question comes down to how to create a relationship with them. Now, those of you who know me know that I'm not the best person in the world to talk to about generating relationships in terms of people skills. I can do relationships on social media and email and video, but one-on-one relationships are a challenge for me because I was the snotty-nosed kid in the corner who was the introvert and never learned how to make friends. So I don't know, there may be one or two of you else out there. So let me tell you a couple of secrets that I know work for introverts to be able to do this, okay? So those of you who are extroverts, just go make friends with them, okay? You can just hang up, be done with this call right now. Just go make friends with them, and in a few months say, hey, shouldn't we do some business together? For those of you who are introverts, it's going to take a little bit more work, okay? So let me share with you some of the secrets that I have found. So the first thing is how to contact them. So some of these people are the people who are already on your list. And by the way, as you do the things that I'm going to talk about, you're going to find other people who aren't on your list, who you don't even know about right now, or who are so far off your list, you're not even thinking about putting them on your list. So here's the way I like to go about doing this. Conferences in your industry are the single best affiliate recruiting tool available out there. Okay? So what happens at a conference when you go to a conference? Anybody? When you go to a conference and there's 20 speakers, what just happened? Janine? You're muted.
People.
Say that again?
Said you meet people.
Yeah. And so what happens when you go to a conference, there's 20 speakers, there's 20 affiliates who just paraded themselves in front of me and presented to me. Okay? It's like, wow, that's cool. So now I need to go figure out a way to be able to talk to those 20 people who just paraded across the stage. I will give you a warning. Everyone else at that conference is trying to talk to those same 20 people. But there are 20 more people who are also at that conference who didn't talk on that stage. So, what you do at a conference. Number one, and I know that everyone who runs conferences hates this, but here's what you do. You buy the recording of the conference and you never walk in the room of the conference room. You stand outside in the hallway and you talk to the people out there. So I was not able to go to Traffic and Conversion, which is the largest conference in my industry last year. But the year before, in 3 days of meetings that went from 9 in the morning to, I don't know, 8 or 9 at night, solid booked, I was in the room for an hour and 15 minutes. The entire rest of the time, I was in the lobbies. I was standing outside the conference rooms talking with the people in the industry to create relationships with them so that we could be affiliate partners with each other. So, and the thing you're going to discover when you go to these things is you're not doing it for this reason, but many of them are. So the highfalutin ones are so snotty that they feel like, and I said that really rudely, many of them feel like they can't learn anything from the things that are being presented from the stage. So they literally come to conferences to see all of their friends. And so they never go in that conference room. They sit out in the hallway and they talk to all their friends. And so what you do is you go and join them in that conversation. One of the best ways to do this is to break bread with them. Go eat with them. Okay? So there are amazing things that happen when you're eating. Because what I've discovered is what happens in the hallway is a lot of it is friends, and it's probably different in some of the more woo subjects and a little less men-oriented. But a lot of the men-oriented things are people sort of bragging. And so, but that's how it happens in the hallway. But when you get them to dinner, you start having conversations with them about their family and their business and what they're really trying to do and what their plans are for the next year. And if you do it right, you develop a relationship that starts the conversation going from there. Okay, that makes sense? So to me, the toughest part about going to the conferences is that my goal is to walk in with that list of people and eat with every one of those people during the conference at some point. The worst things are the people who want to eat with me, who are trying to come up into my world, and I have to just tell them, no, I can't do that. I'm happy to talk with you right now, but I can't eat with you because all my meals are taken up with appointments to eat with the people who I want to contact to do business with me. Okay? All right. Next is, and this works for the people who don't go to conferences and everything. Janine just said the ladies' room. Sorry, I can't do that part. But the same thing will work. Yes, definitely. Okay? All right. Is to go and become their affiliate and promote them like crazy so that you get on their leaderboard. Does everybody understand what a leaderboard is? Okay, anybody not understand what a leaderboard is? Perfect. I love working with the next level people. I don't have to explain so many things. Okay, the people who do launches, they pay very, very close attention to their leaderboard because they realize that if they can get a battle going between the person who's in number 1 place and the person who's in number 2 place, and then another battle going between the person who's in 3 and 4 to try to get higher so they'll get a bigger prize, then those people are going to mail for them more often, which is going to turn into huge amounts of sales for them. Okay? And so they pay very, very careful attention to who's on their leaderboard. And the coolest thing that happens is when they have a name that shows up on their leaderboard that they go, who in the world is this? And the thing that happens is that if you show up on their leaderboard and place in the top 5, I guarantee you that if you call them 2 weeks after their launch, they'll take your call because you just made them a bunch of money. And they want to know who in the world you are and how you were able to pull that off. So I'm going to give you a strategy to do this. Come up with a bonus that is so drop dead obvious that people are willing to buy their product to get your bonus. Even if that bonus means you don't end up making a cent off of selling their product. So let's say someone's doing a launch, it's a $2,000 product, and you so you'd get 1,000. We'll just say they're doing a 50% commission. A lot of them are doing 40% commissions now. Let's just call it 50 because it's easier math, okay? So you would make $1,000 on each sale. All right, what if you were to offer personal hand-holding consulting to help them succeed at the other person's product? And that consulting is going to cost you 5 hours to do. And at $200 an hour, you're actually going to break even on that sale. But wouldn't it be worth it to get on their pay attention to list? And by the way, get on everyone else's, because the big guys, I guarantee you. So let's look at it this way. Jeff Walker is doing a launch. It starts tomorrow. I can guarantee you that Eben Pagan and Mike Filsame and, you know, we can go down the list and put together a list of all the big affiliates. They totally know who's in the top 5 on Jeff's leaderboard. And if a month from now you walked up to Eben Pagan and said, who were the top 5 on Jeff Walker's leaderboard? He could tell you who 4 of them were. He was one of them, and who the other 3 are. Okay? I guarantee, because they all start paying attention too. And you do this 3 times, you get on the top of the leaderboard 3 different times in your industry, they will be calling you, wanting you to promote them, because they know that you're making money for them. Does this make sense?
It makes sense, I would say, but it also seems like well, it maybe could be challenging. I guess it depends on exactly what it is you're promoting, and yeah.
Yeah, this is not easy. This is absolutely not easy to do. And what I'm asking you to do is to actually not make money so you can make more money later on. By the way, there's someplace else we ask you to do that. It's called advertising, which is also a good idea. Okay? Don't make much money so you can make a whole bunch of money later on. Okay? So this is the way it works. Okay? Natalie just put in something. I once got a call from Evan Pagan's staff on the last day of someone else's launch. That's what he was doing to be on top of that leaderboard. So sometimes you call your people and recommend someone else's product that they're going to buy through your affiliate link. Why? Because you want to be on the top of their leaderboard. And by the way, these big launches, to be on the top of their leaderboard, oftentimes involves a $100,000 prize. Okay, so that's the other reason you do this, is to earn one of those big prizes. Okay. All right, another one, speak at conferences. So remember when I said those 20 people who speak at that conference, everyone wants to talk to those 20 people? Well, how about if you're one of those speakers that everyone wants to talk to? And I'm going to make a strong suggestion. You don't want to be on a panel. When you're on a panel, 3 people talk to you. When you run a breakout all by yourself, 100 people talk to you. It's just the way this works. So there's a conference in my industry called ALT, which is focused on women who are bloggers. Okay? I've never spoken there. And the reason why is because they want to put you on a panel. And it's like, number one, I can't say anything in 12 minutes. And number two, I certainly can't impress anybody in 12 minutes. And number three, well, I can actually. But number three, I'm not going to get nearly the attention as I will if you give me a stage. So it's not worth my time to go do that conference. Okay? All right. Next, here's another way. If you don't have a list yet, so you're not able to go and be on their leaderboard, go buy their product and be an amazing student and amazing testimonial for them. Be the student who's on every single call and asks a really intelligent question and makes a bunch of money from whatever it is or achieves whatever transformation they're offer and gives them an amazing testimonial at the end. I guarantee you that everybody who sells programs is very aware of their top 5 to 10 students. And they want to get to know them, they want to hang out with them, and they would love to have conversation with them. Okay? Totally happens. Okay? Michelle just brought up Jesse Kruger. So Jesse, that's exactly what he did with Marisa. He purposefully chose to come into Marisa's world and nail it so that he could get Marisa's attention and so that he could join Mastery so that he could have people who are making over $100,000 a year who he could sell on writing a book and publishing it through him. Totally. But he didn't do it just by, we also had somebody else who came into Mastery last year who came in simply, he paid the, I don't remember what Mastery cost, 20,000, we'll just call it 20,000. He paid the 20,000 because he wanted to be in the room so he could get clients from the other people. But he didn't do anything. And we didn't like that. We felt used. But if you come in like Jesse did and nail it, and do everything that you're taught and do it really well, and they're going, man, this person, Jesse, is rocking it, then they want to get to know you. And you become one of their friends. Okay? Natalie just pointed out Michelle's done a really good job of that with Marisa, right? Good job, Michelle. Okay. Here's another one. Advertise and target their followers. That will get their attention. You do it long enough, spend enough money, eventually you're going to get a call from them that says, who are you and what do you do? And you can have a conversation with them. Okay, so there's some ideas. Who else has got some ideas? Oh, here's another one. Support them online. Follow them on Facebook, make comments on Facebook when they go live, jump in and participate with them, start to develop a relationship. So as I said, I'm an introvert, but I try to figure out ways that I can be introverted and still create relationships with people. Okay? All right, this has been way too much talking, not enough you guys talking. Okay? So give them the support that they want and need. Oh, this is a totally different thing. Let's talk about this. So, who's done some of these things? Who wants to do some of these things? What have you found work? What have you heard? Let's have a conversation here.
Hi, I have a question about something you shared. You said to promote yourself in a way that helps other people, that helps them to teach their class to other people. So
Yep.
in my field, you would want me to say, hey, let me help you learn this haircut that such and such has taught you.
Okay, so you're not okay. So there's two ways that I can listen to your question and answer your question. So if I sell their program to my audience, then I can do a bonus where I'm supporting them in the process of learning what it is that they teach.
I see.
Okay, so here's the way I do that. What I say is, hey, one of the reasons I'm promoting this is because I really need to learn how to do this myself. So I'm going to be all in on this program. I'm going to be taking notes. I'm going to be on all the calls. I'm going to be doing everything. And I realized since I'm going to be doing everything, hey, how about if I just sort of do a little mastermind with those of you who buy through me, and we'll work through John Doe's program together and support each other in this process.
Okay, and I'm trying to figure out how I would make that work for my industry of like learning either a actual skill set or even I'm considering pivoting into more public speaking. But I guess there's classes about, no, not really beauty, public speaking. Okay, I'm going to go back to listening and hopefully get something. Like I can learn what you're teaching me, but trying to apply it has been a little challenging.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about your business a little bit more?
Well, all of this lovely group has heard it 10 million times.
I haven't, so.
When I first started, I was teaching people how to style hair for on-set and celebrities, how to get into that industry, and my inroads was basically learning how to style for all hair textures, which, by the way, is paying off so well that I'm being flown to New Zealand at the end of the week to help.
Yay!
Yet, I can't get anybody to buy the classes, or very few people. So I'm hearing what you say about affiliates. That was a challenge as well. Thank you, Natalie. And I know I have a strong speaking ability, so I was heavily considering pivoting. Thank you, Chris and Abby, pivoting into doing more public speaking in the beauty realm. But I don't know how to do that pivot. And it's like I can learn what you're telling me. I'm very clear in what you taught today, and I think it was awesome. But how to apply it to either of those, I'm not able to figure out at this moment.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a caution, Monet, and I'm going to do this publicly so that everybody can hear. If you've not yet figured out how to convert your own audience into being buyers of your product, then you're probably not ready to have affiliates, okay? Because affiliates are basically, if you think about the world in terms of affiliates spend capital to recommend you to their people, because everyone knows that the more emails someone gets, the more likely they are to opt out. And so they're risking in promoting you. And if you can't convert their people, that's just going to tick off your affiliate. And so what I would be inclined to do is to, if you're not yet converting, it's not yet time to go be doing affiliate. Okay?
Yes, I'm assuming you have, a strong point there. What I was considering doing was instead of the email list, because honestly, I don't know very many people with the true email list, but I have quite a few friends with, 20,000, 30,000 followers. So, and I'm more in the pop space. So most of them have a ton of followers there. So I was taking what you were discussing with an email and applying it to social media shares.
Yep. Now, okay. So the advantage of what you do, Monet, is that there are thousands of influencers in Instagram who if you give them X dollars, will promote you on their thing. They don't care. They don't want an affiliate commission.
Yes,
they want you to pay them X dollars to do a shout out, right? That's great because you can do those even when you haven't figured out how to convert yet and use that to figure out how to convert, okay? Because they're not risking anything. They're getting paid for it. They got their $500 or $1,000 or whatever it is you had to pay them, and they did the promotional post. You got some traffic, and if you converted them, great. If you didn't, you lost money on the $500,000 you gave them. Okay, so I would definitely, if I were you, I would work on less. I would do some work right now on promoted posts, and hand them some cash, let them promote, and only after you've got your conversions dialed in, then you can start going to some of them and say, you know what, I can give you $1,000 to promote me on your Instagram, but if you do an affiliate code instead, you're going to probably make $5,000.
Look, I need to work with you if you can hand out $1,000 for a post. I'm like, here's a hard 20, make it work. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking.
And you know what? That's what you do. You start with the 20s and the 50s, and then eventually you're doing the thousands, and there are people in your space who are charging $1 million for a
Awesome. Thank
promoted
you,
post.
Pamela. Thank you so much. I'm going back to mute it with the camera off. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Hey, Monet, thank you very much. This was great. I appreciate you bringing this up.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Yes, there will be a recording. There's always a recording of everything we do, Pamela. So, yes. Okay. Good. Who else has a thought or experience around this? Or maybe a question on how to approach somebody that we can talk through as a group.
I have a question, which is somebody who already is a player in my space and who we have a good relationship with, and I want to, I guess maybe it's not actually about affiliates. Maybe it's a different question, so maybe I should ask it elsewhere. I just thought the better of this. Sorry. Bye.
Okay.
I have a thought.
Okay, go ahead.
Get on their podcast and see how your connection is, and then see if you can develop a relationship from there.
Ah, that's good too. And by the way, podcasters, most of them, unless they're huge, are very aware of every podcast review they get, right?
Yeah.
So you give them a good review. That's a way to raise your hand and say, hi, I'm Abby. Pay attention to me. Okay. But yes, podcasts are a great way to get to know people and ask them a question, especially if they have their podcast like running on their blog or something, someplace where you can come in and make comments. Then you can start that. So that's a great idea, Abby. I love it. Cool. By the way, if you have a podcast, you can invite them to come be a guest on your podcast. It's another way too. Okay. All right. Good suggestion, Abby. Thank you. Who else?
Oh, I have another one.
Oh, good. You're on a roll.
This is a project, but I know somebody who just like hooked up like a huge list for herself by offering a giveaway, and it was all about her mentors, so she went to all of her own mentors and put together this giveaway. And I'm sure she has thousands of, a much bigger list now, and also she's got connections with all those bigger partners.
Yep. So that is a solid strategy in immature markets. So let me just explain what I just said. So in my market, which is a more mature, jaded market, none of the big players will do this anymore. There's nothing in it for us, right? But in a more immature market that maybe hasn't been doing JVs and those kinds of things for long, where people's lists are small, that's a great way to do it. And this is not a negative about any market. I'm just saying the more jaded and top heavy the market is, the more likely it is that that strategy is not going to get participants to play. That make sense? Okay. All right, good. So I on a regular basis get people who want me to write a chapter in a book or participate on their summit or different things like that, and it's like I weigh all those really carefully, and I say no 98% of the time, because there's nothing left in it for me at this point. Okay.
Don.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Janine. I do 3 things. Two of them I do just because I like people. I don't do it to make money. I don't know why.
You like people? Oh man, I gotta learn how to do that. Okay.
I just want to help them. So sometimes what I'll do on my Facebook page is I have like 1,200 people on my Facebook page. I'll just promote their products just because I want to help them. And I think people like that, and they remember that. And I don't do like everybody. I just do people that I like. And so I'll write a little thing about their new product, and I'll promote them there. And I guess that could turn into a sale, but I don't ever go with the intention, but that has turned into sales. Additionally, what I do is I show up on webinars for people, and I support those webinars. I tell people that's where I'm going. I'm going to join me here on so-and-so's webinar. And so people will, hey, Janine, you know, I saw that you're going to be on so-and-so's webinar, and then, you know, and so that person, that coach likes that I'm bringing other people to the webinars. And then the last thing I did was I've actually paid for sponsorships. I did that with Lisa Sasevich. They had asked me if I would do a sponsorship for them. And so they showed my video at one of her live events. And she read a little paragraph about me. And so I can actually say that I did some work for, you know, for her. And so that's been a, you know, that was an investment, but you know, was the first time I ever did that, a sponsorship.
Great. Great. That definitely should go on the list too. The first two things that you talked about,
yeah.
I'm going to make a suggestion.
Yes.
I would actually go to them and ask them for an affiliate link.
Oh, yeah.
Not
okay.
because you want to make money, but because they don't understand. So let's say you actually send 10 people to their webinar because you talked about it.
Yes.
They may get an inkling that you sent 1 or 2. They don't realize you sent 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you get an affiliate link, then they start realizing, and they go, hey, Janine does do some cool things for me. And it just raises your credibility in their minds.
Yes. Good point. Thank you. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. Thank you.
Good. So Natalie brought something up. She says, I have a couple of big guys who would promote for me, but I feel insecure because I don't want to run a big affiliate link with big money prizes and all the email copy in the Facebook group, etc. Nabby said, Natalie, I feel the same way. Smaller, low-key JVs are my preference. Okay, so let's talk about this for just a minute. I totally understand what you're saying. And I totally understand that one of the reasons we don't want to do those kinds of launches is that there is real monetary risks of doing that. Okay? So not only is there time and effort and everything, but when you put a big affiliate prize that's designed to get the big players out there, you have to pay the $50,000 first prize, whether you got $500,000, $5 million, or $50,000 in sales. Okay, so it is risky. I will tell you that making the decision to not go big is making a decision to not go big. Okay, so I don't want you making that decision too early. But I do want you to make that decision when it's time. Marisa will be the first person to tell you that her big launch every year is the core of her business. Everything else that she does during the year flows from that big launch. And yes, she's working on advertising, she's working on Evergreen and everything else like that. But still, my guess is 95% of all of her revenue comes one way or another from that one big launch. And if you don't ever do that one big launch, you don't get that 95% of the revenue. Okay? So I do suggest that when you're ready to do it. Okay? Now, let me give you a half pregnant option. You know that it is possible to be half pregnant, right? Okay, so just don't ask me how to do that. Okay, a great way to be half pregnant with a big player is to do a webinar just to their audience. And to do a deal where you say, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to offer you the standard 40 or 50% commission. If we do over $50,000 on this webinar, I'll give you a $10,000 bonus. If we do over 100, I'll give you a $25,000 bonus. Okay? So what you've just done is you've just done the equivalent of doing a big contest. You do it one at a time with just one player, but now that player is not only incentivized to bring people into your webinar because they're going to get sales commissions, but if they get over X amount in dollars, you're going to give them a bonus. Now they're going to pay more attention. So that's their half pregnant option to do this same thing. And by the way, the other beautiful thing of that is you can, so if you run your launch every year in February, you can run this in September, flattening out your income a little bit during the year. Okay. All right. So let's just talk a little bit more about affiliates here. So when you get affiliates and you do a launch, I suggest you work hard to work with them. So give them whatever support they want and need. Now, that is a very individualized question, okay? When I have people come to me and say, hey, do you want me to teach you how to promote a launch? It's like, no, I already know how to do that. So that's not seen as a positive. Whereas to somebody else, that could be the major positive. You're going to teach them how to do it. So you have to know your person and know whether or not they're any good at this kind of stuff. So if they're a regular participant in affiliate kinds of promotions, they probably don't need a lot of attention. They just need like swipe copy so they know what to say. They're not going to copy your swipe copy if they're any good, but they need to know what you're going to be talking about when you do your mailings. And so, and they want that well in advance so they can sit down and write them all at once as opposed to getting it 10 hours before. They are definitely going to want follow-up. So I suggest you have you or somebody else on your team is picking up the phone and calling them every day during a launch, letting them know where they are. Now, in certain industries, the personal development industry, they get really anal about this follow-up stuff. So they say, okay, you're going to promote me, okay? What dates are you going to mail? At what time? If you commit to them that you're mailing at 6 a.m. on Tuesday and it's 7 a.m. and you haven't gotten that email sent out, they're on the phone with you saying, where's your email? You promised me you'd send an email. I got to tell you, that ticks me off. And I say, I'm just not going to send that email because I don't like people bossing me around. So I prefer to do things a little more loosey-goosey, a little more hands-off, but in your industry, look at how it works in your industry. And if everyone does that, then you probably need to do it too. But whatever, don't do a thing where they're sending you traffic and you're giving them no feedback. You need to be calling them up and saying, okay, here's what's happened. You've sent me 632 leads. Thank you very much. I'll be able to tell you in 2 days how those leads are converting. Okay, and then call them up and say, you got a 10% conversion rate. Congratulations, you're sitting #1 in conversion rate percentages right now. Mail more. Okay, all right. Make sure you pay on time, like to the day. If you promise you're going to send them on the first, your payment on the first of the month, they get their payment on the first of the month, not on the 3rd. In fact, if you can pay them on the 30th, even better. In fact, here's another way of doing it. If you, let's say you've got a 30-day return policy, you know that on average you're going to get, I'll just pull a number out of thin air, 20% returns. What if you gave them 50% of their commissions 5 days after close of cart? Because you know that your cancellation rate is not going to go less than 50%. So send them a check send them a PayPal, or better yet, send them a FedEx with a physical check inside. I know you guys, we don't do that anymore. Do it anyway, and send it to them and says, here's 50% of your commission. I'm holding the rest back to see what cancellations are. Congratulations and thank you. That makes sense? Nothing gets someone's attention more than getting money earlier than when you did it. And another thing is run a webinar just for their audience. Affiliate prizes are an amazing thing. And I have literally seen people do crazy things to beat somebody else and get a higher prize. So, I've talked way too much. So, what questions, comments, challenges, opportunities do you see that we should talk about? Jean, you've been a strong silent type on this call. Do you have any questions? You're muted.
I was just thinking, because broadly I'm in marketing, it's such a, incredibly well-developed market. I was just trying to think, what little section I can hive off around another product.
Yep.
There are so many this is such a well-trodden path, isn't it, really?
Yep.
I would prefer to be bringing something a bit different.
And I would prefer you to do that too.
Yeah.
But there are still many opportunities in this market. You and I play in the same world.
Mm.
I just sold an awful lot of courses about how to do a webinar. In spite of the fact that there are at least 5 to 10 other people who are doing webinar courses, I did it differently because I talked about the funnel around your webinar, not just how to write a great webinar. So just keep going deeper because there are many holes in this market too.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, and the cool thing is once you identify a hole in the marketing market, there's tons of affiliates.
Mm.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, Janine.
Yeah, I had a question about the prizes. What are some suggestions for some, besides money and a check?
Okay, so here's the way it usually works. You're going to say, here's the prize. I'm giving away a Tesla.
Yeah.
And at the end, they're going to say, send me a check. Okay. So what you do is you go work about it, think about it, say what would be cool enough to get their attention. And then you say, so one of them that I did was to give them $50,000 worth of private airfare. So in other words, I'll give you a $50,000 card allowing you to get a private airplane to go any place you want it to go. And you can use up anything in that $50,000. And I had 3 people competing for that because no one had ever offered that prize before. And they loved the thought of being able to arrive at the big conference on a private jet. Now the winner, I ended up sending a $50,000 check to because they preferred to get a $50,000 check than to get that card because they said, hey, I might use that to buy some private airline time, but I might use it for something else too. Okay, but the fact I was doing private jet got people's attention. Okay, so just think about it. It's like, what do you think would be cool? I actually like to target and say, okay, who's the person who's most likely to win this? All right, what is the prize that they would like? So I actually customize my prizes by who it is I'm going to be giving it to.
What about something on a lower level? I don't think I'm going to be in a position to do that,
Okay, so in one of my launches, one of my very early launches, the #1 prize was a custom-made kayak, which was a $5,000 prize, targeting Jeff Walker.
Nice.
Because I knew that Jeff Walker would be excited about that. Jeff Johnson would want a speedboat or a great slalom ski. So my second prize was a slalom ski, a custom slalom ski, which was a $2,000 prize. And that was for Jeff Johnson because I knew in advance who I wanted to win the prizes. And I chose the prizes specifically for them.
So did you pick the prizes before the people rolled it, were signed up?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you were targeting those people.
Yeah. And then I called Jeff and I said, hey, you want to win that kayak?
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
All right.
And what I would do is I said a custom kayak, $5,000 in value, and or the cash equivalent, so
Right.
that Jeff Johnson would say, well, I'm going to beat Jeff because I'd rather have $5,000 in cash where I can buy the $2,000 slalom ski.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you pick the people first that you want to connect with, that are going to be your lead out people, the ones that are really going to want to compete, and then you pick the prize.
Yep.
I get it. Okay.
I could never figure out the right price for Evan Pagan though.
Okay.
Still haven't figured that one out.
Okay.
I just sent him checks.
I sent somebody a thank you note with a Dairy Queen gift card in it because I knew she had children, and she wrote me a thank you note for the Dairy Queen gift card because she just appreciated that. She took her kid out, and she has sent me like 4 or 5 clients just for doing that. So sometimes
that is the cheapest gift card you've ever sent anybody, right?
$25, and it was all I could think of. And yeah, she sent me a few $1,000s worth of customers. So
okay, so have you sent her any more gift cards?
No, not yet. I'm running, not yet, but I have to come up with another idea. I don't know. No, I haven't.
You may want to. You may want to. She sent you 4 or 5 clients. You should probably, and by the way, it is a wonderful thing when someone sends you a client to send them a thank you note and with the little thing inside.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will tell you the one thing that you can never, ever, ever go wrong with is an Amazon gift card.
Good point.
The only way you can go wrong with that is if they think that that gift card should have been bigger than what it is that you sent them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But everyone always, I mean, do you know anyone who can't use an Amazon gift card?
Right. Right. No, it's an excellent point. You're right. Now I'm going to send that to her. Thank you for that idea. But
I love if the Dairy Queen worked.
Yeah.
I'd do it again, or Cold Stone, or
Yeah.
I mean, if the thing that rocks her world is being able to take her kids out, I wouldn't send her an Amazon card. I'd send her something that enables her to do that again.
Yeah.
Go buy a movie pass. Find out what movie theaters are in her area, and get an AMC movie pass that'll give her 5 tickets to something.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. Yeah, that's a great idea. I appreciate that. Good. Thank you.
Okay. I realize everything I've been saying, just take zeros off of.
Yeah.
And they'll work too. But if you're doing like an affiliate prize on a $2,000 product of a $20 gift card,
yeah, I know.
I'm worried that that's not going to be seen as a big enough incentive to get somebody to do something.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I prefer to operate on bigger numbers than small. It just works better.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Great ideas. Thank you so much.
Sure. Who else? Okay. All right. Good. Anybody else have any generic questions that don't have anything to do with affiliates? We got about 8 minutes. I'm happy to spend it. Isabel.
I noticed earlier in the chat somebody asked, I recently learned from someone teaching on webinars it's very easy to destroy credibility with their list. It can be dangerous if not done right. I was wondering if you could respond to her question or comment.
So it's not really a question, which is the reason why I didn't jump on it.
Oh.
Who wrote that? And love to know more information about what you were talking about. Oh, it was Camille. Okay, we lost both Camille and her sister. So yeah, so I won't say it's very easy, but it is possible to destroy your credibility with your list. So you always have to think strategically before you do things so the question is always, will this contribute to my relationship with somebody or harm it? Will it sell another product or not? And just be careful that you don't do something stupid. And the only way to answer that is situationally. I can't give you a definitive, don't do this. Well, certainly don't send 9 emails out every single day. Don't send out emails that waste time. Don't spam them. Don't, it's like, I can give you a lot of don'ts, but what to do, give them great value and stuff that helps them to achieve the transformation that they want, and they'll love you and trust you and want to pay you money to get the bigger transformations. It's hard to make a mistake when you're giving them incredible value, other than just offending people. That's sort of was that okay answer, Isabel? Okay.
The reason that I asked it was because there was someone in the industry that I follow and respected, and they just kept sending one email after another promoting somebody else, and I never got to hear from them. And the whole reason I was on their list because I liked what they had to say, not what these other people had to say. And so I ended up unsubscribing.
Yep. And I will tell you, that happens to every one of us when we start to promote other people, is that we have to walk a very fine line as to sharing good stuff from us that builds our credibility and positioning in the marketplace versus sharing other people's and selling other people's stuff. Because after a while, it can feel like all this person does is promote. And what's worse is when you're in your off times. So you work for 3 months and you put together this amazing launch, you go do the launch, and then you spend 3 months delivering on that launch. And so you're basically out of the market for 6 months. And that's really a mistake. We need to be continuing to communicate with them during that 6 months, other things of great value, so that they are loving us and wanting to follow and wanting to buy from us later on.
Mm-hmm.
And so every one of us, no matter what we're doing, faces this situation on a regular basis. And oftentimes the only way to get around that is to do an editorial calendar, where you say, okay, this is what I want to send, this is what I want to communicate, and here's how I'm going to do it, and actually plan it out in advance. Mm-hmm. And you can leave holes in that for other people's affiliate products as they come along, because you don't know what you're going to say about so-and-so's product. But a good editorial calendar works wonders. Isabel, what were you going to say?
So I was going to say, for the example of this person who focuses on crystals that I thought of reaching out to, I'd only offer those 3,000 people, that subset of my list, who have responded to the crystal ad but not bought from me. Is that ethical?
Absolutely. We do it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And here's another way of looking at it is, anybody who is a buyer, you don't send them affiliate offers for a certain period after they buy. So in other words, the people who are your cream of your crop, you want to keep them focused on you, not your competitors. Now, that'll hurt you in your affiliate sales, because you know this person's a buyer, and a person who's a buyer from you will also tend to be a buyer from other people. But it also helps you preserve them, so they'll continue to buy more from you. So we very oftentimes do that, is that people don't go on the JV mailing list for 6 months to a year after they buy something. And oftentimes, I also don't put them on the JV list for 6 months to a year after they initially opt in, during which time I'm going to present to them 4 to 5 of my own offers. And only after we've gone through that part and they've still not bought from me do I start showing them other people's products. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So people on my list who do buy from me, I would be okay offering them an affiliate of a different product, but not in my genre, because I know they're buyers, and if I feel sincere about it, I could offer them somebody else's
Right. You
product.
could, or you could just say, I won't give them any affiliate offers for anything for
Yeah.
a certain period of time, especially if you got a high-end program. So for Marisa, when people come in and they buy in Live Your Message, when they buy an EPM, then we know that they're going to get a launch in October, and then they're going to get Message to Money in February. So she doesn't want to send her buyers from EPM affiliate offers because she wants them to be focusing their money and their time and their attention on coming to M2M Live, where they're going to get sold the next offer. So the period of time when they initially come in on the launch and the coming to EPM, the buyers probably aren't going to get an affiliate promotion during that time. The non-buyers could. The buyers won't. Okay? So I have a process that I go through where people degrade in quality. So at a certain point, they're high quality leads. I'm going to only focus on really high quality stuff on them. If they don't buy from that, then they go down to the next level. If they don't go buy that, they go down to the next level. The next level, they get everything. Because they're probably not going to buy from me.
Could you go into a little more detail about that? That's really interesting. So your first prospects, first someone comes onto your list, they're at the very high level?
No, when they're so the highest level is a buyer.
Oh, okay.
And for 6 months to a year after that, I'm treating them with kid gloves because I want them to buy my next high-end program. My next one down is someone who's just opted in. They're not yet earned the right to be in the top, but I'm going to give them every opportunity to buy something from me before I start selling them other people's things. My next qualification is the people who were a buyer like a year ago, but haven't bought since then. And then my last group of qualifications is a group of people who've been on my list for 6 to 12 months, have never bought anything. They're on my lowest quality list. And so they're getting everything that comes along, all my affiliate programs and everything. And every once in a while, one of them will buy something and then they go onto my top list. And by the way, one of the beauties of doing a bonus when someone buys from you in an affiliate program is that you can get a list from them of these are the people who bought so that you can go deliver your bonus. Then I take that group of people and I tag them and they go up into the buyer list. Because a buyer, someone who's going to buy from Marisa, is also a potential buyer from Dawn. Because that's the way we work in this industry. We all buy from all the big major players. And so I want a buyer to go on my top buyer list. So they get tagged and they go onto that top list, even if they buy somebody else's product. So the beautiful thing of what I just gave you is that everybody at every one of those stages has the ability to instantly go to the top. All they have to do is buy something. So they raise their hand and say, I want to be on our top list because I'm going to buy something. Congratulations, you just got the VIP pass. Come to the front of the line. Okay? This is the one reason why you want a tag-based email system. Okay, I think we should be done. So, everybody, did you get any value out of this?
Yep.
Okay. As I said, this one turned into much more me talking than I would have liked, but I didn't know how we were going to do this without me doing a lot of talking because not everybody, a lot of people have a lot of experience with this. But I hope that this was good and powerful for you, and I hope it seeds some ideas. My guess is that most of you are not going to use this for several months, and that's great because it's going to be in your recording. You've got it. Go back and watch this later on. But the cool thing is we seeded ideas because right now you can start developing the relationships that can turn into an affiliate later on. So the best affiliate conversation comes after you've been a friend with them for a year and a half. And you may not want to do an affiliate launch until 2 years from now. Great. Go get the relationships now. So a year and a half from them, you're just calling up your friend who you usually talk to once a month anyway.
I love the idea of going to somebody and saying, I'll do a webinar for you with your audience.
Yeah.
I really, that's an aha. People ask me to, go on their webinars, and I never thought to approach them.
Yeah.
And use their list. Yeah, that's a good one, Don. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Take care. And I appreciate every one of you. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.